Good morning, everybody. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. We welcome you to PLAYLAND, where we're going to be welcoming everybody for a brand new season starting this Saturday, May 11th. It's a beautiful day, and we hope this is a harbinger of the kind of weather that we expect to have over the course of the PLAYLAND season that'll take us into the fall. I'm joined here by a number of people, some of whom are going to speak. We have our Deputy County Executive, Ken Jenkins, with us, our Director of Operations, Joan McDonald, our Commissioner of Parks, Recreation, and Conservation, Kathy O'Connor. We have the head of the Westchester Parks Foundation, Joe Stout, is with us here. And we're going to be introducing a little bit Kathleen Reckling with Westchester, or Arts Westchester organization. And we have Brandy and the Alexanders, who is one of the many outstanding professionals that are going to be performing for us down here at PLAYLAND. We're also joined by a number of other officials in our county government. Our Chief of Staff, Andrew Ferris, is here. I see that we have the Chief of Staff of the Board of Legislators, Dennis Power, is here. And if we're joined by any other individuals that I missed, oh, I'm sorry, Bridget Gibbons, who's our Director of Economic Development, is with us here. Bridget's got to move a little bit so I'm not blocking you out there, kiddo. There we go. That's okay. Very good. And if we are joined by anybody else, we'll cover it. There's been a lot of talk about PLAYLAND over the course of the last few months and the last number of years. It's not something that just began with our new administration 16 months ago. But PLAYLAND has always been on my mind. For the last 35 years, I live right behind the parking lot and the row of trees that exist there. And for many years, I've had the opportunity to be here as an immediate neighbor of the park. But long before that, when I grew up in this county as a kid, from a poor part of the county, that would come to PLAYLAND as an opportunity for escape and for fun over many years, as a little kid, as a teenager, young 20s, on dates and things of that nature. What we're here to talk about today is what we're going to be doing that's different and interesting as we look forward to the 2019 season. There are issues that we're going to deal with a little later in the week on health and safety. We understand there have been some concerns raised. We intend to address all of those concerns thoroughly and completely this Thursday. For those of you who are covering the stories of health and safety, we're going to invite you back. Bring your cameras. You're going to have a back-of-the-house tour. You'll be able to look and ask whatever questions are appropriate. It'll be led by our senior executives, Joan McDonald and Kathy O'Connor, and their team will be here. We'll have representatives of Culinart, who is the contractor for food services. We're hoping to have representatives of the New York State Labor Department, which is the inspection entity for the rides. And we expect to have our senior leadership from the Westchester County Department of Health, which does the health inspections, food inspections here on. We are supremely confident as we get ready to open this park that it is ready to go for the new season, and we can address any of the questions that have been raised by whatever sources they've been raised. That's what we're going to be doing on Thursday. And just so you understand, the sense of this is we are actually in real time getting ready for opening day of the park. So as the crews are doing different things around here to get ready for it, we thought that rather than try to tack that on to this press conference as we get closer to opening day, it all has to be ready for Saturday. So we'll be ready on Thursday to give you the walkthrough, and you can look at it. And then at that point in time, we'll address some of those issues that have been raised, and I think to your satisfaction, certainly to the satisfaction of people of Westchester County. There are also issues regarding the governance of PLAYLAND. We're not going to touch on that today because the people of Westchester who are going to come and use this park over the course of the next few weeks, they care about the governance, but they don't come here to have a debate about taxation and capital projects. They come here to enjoy what a recreation is to be. And so we want to show you a couple of important things. The first thing is that this administration is committed to PLAYLAND. We intend to make sure that PLAYLAND runs not just safely and effectively, but also with a level of energy and vitality that has been missing at this park for the last 10 years. We have created a self-fulfilling prophecy in Westchester County by not putting the energy and the attention to this park separate and distinct from the amount of money we may invest in the park. There's no question that there are money issues that have to be dealt with and addressed. But even more important, this is a facility that has to attract individuals. It is a product to be marketed to the consumers. And I know from my past corporate experience that you can't reach consumers just on discussions of pricing and structure of how a product is prepared. You have to reach them for why they're coming here. They're coming here for recreation. They're coming here for enjoyment. And on a beautiful day like today, you can envision what it has been like for 91 years and what we intend for it to be like in its 91st full year of operations. This park has many different components, and it would not work if we did not have the kind of loyal staff, hardworking staff, and professional staff that does all of the repair, the maintenance, the management of certain elements of this park day to day to day. We're indebted to them. We believe they've worked very hard, in some cases with adverse circumstances to deal with, less than acceptable resources to work with, and yet our staff has come through with shining colors. We believe we're ready for opening day, and we think we're going to go through the year and have a productive year. All throughout 2018, which is the first year we were on board, we looked at the park, we watched its operations. We didn't try to do a lot of different dynamic things in order to assess where we thought the energy and the time would be necessary for, and we believe we're in a position to be able to do that now. We've got a couple of new things that we're announcing today, and we're going to have more things to announce as we go along. For an opening day press conference, we'll highlight a few of those things. We have some people here who are going to speak to it. The first thing is that we are making a commitment to public art at Playland. We believe that this is the kind of facility where people are coming in from the outside. Well, they will enjoy having more public art and art displays. We've identified space on the boardwalk that will be used for an art installation. And with this, we have a partnership with Arts Westchester, which is the premier arts organization in the county. They serve as a coordinator and an umbrella for all the many different art programs that exist. And the program that we have this year has been funded by the generosity of the Westchester Parks Foundation, an organization that raises money and contributes it to complement public spending in our parks, in this case from private resources. And you will hear in a few minutes, as I mentioned, from Kathleen Reckling, who is with Arts Westchester, about what that program is going to look like, and from Joe Stout, head of the Parks Foundation, which so generously contributed that we could have this program. There's going to be an RFP for an art display this summer, and the art creation will be available for public viewing. It'll be unveiled, and art will remain at the park for the remainder of the summer. As you walk through this, you will see the work of artists, Westchester and otherwise. We're going to be doing a lot of general promotions that have not been done in recent past. If you look at the glory years of Westchester and the glory years of this park was marketed in a creative, dynamic way. And that's what you have to do whenever you're in a hospitality-related field. You cannot just go through the motions year after year with the exact same things done the exact same ways, or with even less from year to year. One of the innovations we have this year, but not the only one, is establishing unique town nights or town days at the park. That's going to begin in June and will extend until the end of August. And those town days will provide certain benefits for everybody who shows residence from that community. And we're going to go through, I gather, all of our incorporated communities. Now, we have a little list. It's done in alphabetical order. We've got some work to do to coordinate the actual dates that they're going to lock in with the actual communities to make sure there's no conflicts for other things they may be doing in their home communities that day. But whether it's A, Ardsley, or Y, Yorktown, every single community is going to have one of their days here, and some of the benefits that are going to include discount coupons when they arrive. The municipalities will put display booths out for their information. We're going to have discounts, 1 free mini golf, 2 for 1 ride admission, a free beach and pool admission, $1 off of food value, discount for parking, and a host of things as an incentive for people from a specific community to feel that they can come with their neighbors from that community and feel that they own a piece of Playland. We know that we're here in the city of Rye, but this is a county park for county people. And whether you do live in the far northwest of this county, in Cortland or Peekskill or Buchanan, or you live down in the southeast portion of the county in Pelham Manor or New Rochelle, if you're in Yonkers in the southwest corner of the county, or North Salem in the northeast section of the county, Playland is a park for you, just like all of our parks are. And we think this is going to be something different, and hopefully something that's well appreciated. We've launched a program already, which we highlighted last October when we kicked it off in Ossining. Westchester Loves to Read program. This is open to county-wide students in grades pre-K through 5. It asks students to log in their reading time, began last October, terminated as of yesterday. Students who read 4,000 minutes during that time, it's roughly about 15 to 20 minutes a day, will receive a free pass to our opening day, which is coming up at the end of the week. It's pretty simple. You read, do a log, and you win. And that program ties in the priority of reading with the fun that comes from reading by spending time at Playland. We're going to be instituting a laser show this year. It's going to start in June, go until September. It'll be displayed every day at 7:45 in the evening and 9 p.m. It's a colorful, wonderful extravaganza of music and dancing. You'll see it as when I see it, and it should be a lot of fun. We have 11 concerts planned here this year. We've had as few as 4 over the years, and we've done a lot more in different years. And we have a wide range of groups that are going to be here. We have a Bruce Springsteen tribute band called Tramps Like Us on our agenda. We have a Journey tribute band, Voyage. We have Dr. K's Motown Review. I don't personally know Dr. K, but if he's bringing us some Temptations, some Four Tops, some Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, a little bit of Supremes, a little bit of Marvelettes, I'm all in, and we'll see that. We also have a group called the Amish Outlaws, and I can't wait to see what their music is, and I'm sure it's extremely good. But one of the groups that we have coming July 27th is Brandy and the Alexanders, and when I ask Brandy Thompson, I believe it is, to join us at the microphone, she'll tell you a little bit about it. But you're going to have to come to hear her perform. Not performing today, but she'll be performing on July 27th, and we'll be here and we'll enjoy every bit of it. We have taken time and effort this year in marketing this park to get our Dragon Coaster, to have by its persona coaster as a much more prominent feature of our park. And you see the almost life-size cutout coaster with us here. We have little mini coasters, or baby coasters as they're called, and they are circulating all over the county in various farmers markets and different events all across the county. We're inviting people to come and take a selfie with Coaster, put it on your Facebook, meet me at Playland, and market that out. I've heard some people say, well, that's just optics. No, that's good marketing. And that is part of what a multiple-step marketing plan needs to be for this facility. And to think that any one element is the total picture tells me that you don't understand marketing if you don't understand how to do this. I spent quite a bit of my professional career, before there was social media, looking for little hooks and ways to be able to promote what we're doing, and we think this is one of those ways to do it. We've also produced a new television commercial for Playland, something that we haven't done in 10 years. 10 years. We had hoped to show you that today. I don't think we have the opportunity to do that, but Catherine promises me, I assume we have everybody's emails in the media, we're going to email you the commercial so that you can see for yourself how we're positioning the park this year, and at some point in time, if you're interested enough to know when and where it's going to be placed, you'll be able to know what that is too. We have a new museum on Playland history. We had one a few years ago, and it was closed down when the new Children's Museum came in. We are big fans of the Westchester Children's Museum. I met with Tracy Kay, the head of it, this morning, and we're going to try to be as cooperative and helpful to the Children's Museum as is possible. But there at the north end of the North Bathhouse, when you go to the middle of Bathhouse Road, which begins the South Bathhouse, you will see a small museum set aside, memorabilia of Playland in the past. When you have a 91-year history, then you've got some things to show that are historic and we think very valuable as a way to stop and see it. We have a new webpage for the park, playlandpark.org. It's revamped, it's easy to use, even for guys who are 65 years old. And we'll be able to use it to navigate it so people can come and find the different issues of what we're doing. As this season goes along, we're going to have more new announcements, things that relate to rides, other promotions that we have coming on, in order to give people a reason to come back to Playland and visit it again. And if you like it, then to come back a couple of times more. There are people who remember Playland from their youth, but they haven't been here in the interim years. Some of those folks now have kids of their own. Some of them have grandkids of their own. This place, as you can see here in Kittyland, is a perfect place for kids to come and enjoy the time that we have here. We still operate the Tiki Bar. We don't operate it, but we have a contractor that operates the Tiki Bar on the other side, and you won't find a nicer place to sit, look out on the water, and have drinks into the evening. There's food as well as drinks available to you, and that has been here for a number of years, and that continues in our program this year. And we're looking forward to doing a host of other things as we go forward. Let me transition now and introduce Kathleen Reckling from the Arts Westchester group to talk a little bit about the program, and then she'll be followed by Joe Stout, who will talk a little bit about the philanthropy of the foundation to help fund this program. Kathleen from Arts Westchester.
Thank you, Mr. County Executive. Hello, we're so proud, Arts Westchester is so proud of the partnership that we have with the county, and we're particularly excited about what's going to be a unique public art collaboration for such a historic landmark destination. As the county executive noted earlier, we'll be running a competitive request for proposal process, inviting artists to submit an imaginative installation for a unique site on the property. We know it'll be a great project and one that people really enjoy visiting, and a wonderful opportunity for the artists in our region. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning. The Parks Foundation believes that parks are for everybody, and everybody deserves a safe, clean, welcoming park, and public art is a great way to do that. And our board and our foundation is very happy to support this effort here. There was one time a very robust Arts in Parks program. Maybe this again will be the impetus to get that going again. So partnering with Art Westchester and Westchester County to bring folks back down to the boardwalk here, which is spectacular, is a great thing for us to be involved with. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Joe. And again, I want to thank Arts Westchester, Janet Langsam, who was the head of it, and Kathleen was here on her behalf, and the Parks Foundation for their generosity in making this happen. The Parks Foundation contributes to many of our parks. You know, they have the Winter Wonderland program that's happened the holiday season from Thanksgiving to New Year's up at the Kensico Dam facility, and they have done quite a bit of good for our parks around the county. And Joe, we owe you and your team a debt of gratitude. Next, I'm going to ask Brandy and the Alexanders to come up, tell us a little bit about her music, what we have to look forward to. You can start counting the days down until she comes here, and we expect that we're going to have a good time when she gets here. But she's here now. Brandy, please. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Brandy and the Alexanders. We are thrilled to be able to come down to Playland Park and perform here with you guys this summer. We are I like to call it funk, soul, and rock and roll ensemble, and we're going to do a lot of that music here and hopefully bring that energy and vitality that we were just talking about to the park and bring back those glory days that we definitely want to see here. I'm so thrilled. I'm going to definitely bring my family down and perform for everybody here, and hopefully you guys can make it and have a good time with us. So thank you very much for having us.
Now, Peter Katz, I want you to commit that you and Susan are going to come down here. I want to see you dancing in the aisles. Allie, you're going to be here with significant others and others from the FiOS team, right? Ty is going to come back. He's going to book a night when he's not doing reports. He's going to be here. Lungariello's going to leave the baby with the in-laws and bring the wife here, and you're going to have a good time, right? You're going to cover all the stories you have to cover, but you're also going to have some fun in this job, which is what this is about. Before we go to any questions, we obviously will discuss issues, as I said up front, that are important. Governance issues, where we are with our relationship with Standard, and where we are trying to address any of these concerns, which frankly we think are bogus relative to the health and safety here. We're going to address them, and we're going to address them straightforwardly at the appropriate time, and that'll be very shortly. But you need to understand something that I believe very strongly. You have had at this park a self-fulfilling prophecy for the last decade. When you are not committed to a facility, when you hold the philosophy that the county, after 80 years of running and managing a facility like this, that we should not be in the business of doing it, and your policies follow that, then you will see deterioration. You see a lack of capital investment. That's what accrues that capital number. You see a lack of marketing interest, just to go through the motions of doing a few things. You see the reduction in professional staff to manage the park and market the park. You share with other resources, and then you eliminate targeted resources. And then you don't get the results you have. And then if you top it off with some bad weather, which of course no one can cover, then you wind up with attendance that's below 500,000. This park can achieve attendance that approaches the million visitor level. It does not come in a day or a week, and it also doesn't come by saying it. It comes by being creative and marketing it and understanding what makes this park special. It has a pristine location on the Long Island Sound. It has easy access off of the roadways. It has plenty of parking that can accommodate it, you know, and you have those nights like the 4th of July night where even that much demand is hard to accommodate here. But this is a symbol of what I've tried to do with this team behind me in the last 16 months, which is not give up on county government, not because it's government, but because it is the tool by which average everyday people will have priorities addressed. Those who have personal resources will be able to find their entertainment at whatever level they want. You can fly to London and tour the Louvre. You can spend time on Kanapali Beach in Maui, and you can play golf in St. Andrews in Scotland if you have the resources. But if you don't have the resources, we're here for you at Playland. Just like we were here in 1928, just like we were here in 1958 when I was a 5-year-old little boy. And those people who want this as a recreational facility still exist in this county. They're here. And they're looking to see, does this county government walk away from the park, or do we show enthusiasm for this park? Do we show a commitment to the people of Westchester by marketing this park, by bringing in entertainment, bringing in art, energizing the workforce here, showing people that if you live anywhere in this county, you have a role to play in Playland. That is the story of Playland. We'll address all the ancillary issues, but that is the main story of Playland. Whether or not this county is prepared to make this park what it once was, and we are prepared to do that. I'll open it up to questions.
For many
Peter.
years, the message coming out of the county office building has been, we can't do it. We need Marriott. We need standard. Is what you're doing here today putting an end to that message, flipping it around totally?
Well, what I would say is this, Peter. We will benefit by having professional assistants to manage this park in however we choose to do it. As an example, when you do advertising to promote the park, you go to a professional advertising firm to put together professional marketing. You don't expect that you'll have that advertising executive in-house. When we look for entertainment of the top quality, we have a partnership now with WFUV Radio, based out of Fordham University, but now a public radio station, and we use their professional assistance in identifying the kind of quality talent that can come here. So it's not just me trying to figure out, how we would do it. And so to that extent, our government is committed to the park, but we're also committed to the kind of partnerships in the private sector that will help work and make this park better. Our partnership with Arts Westchester, or the foundation, is an example of our partnership with a not-for-profit. So to the extent that the message has been that the county government can't do it, I would say no. The county government with proper partnerships can do it. If the message is there's no role for the county anymore, then I say no. That is somebody in this generation redefining what our forebears decided as was a great way to use this particular space. Now, if you go down the road about 10 or 15 miles, there once was a park called Freedom Land. I remember going there as a kid. Now you'll see housing in Co-op City. I remember as a kid, a little bit older, going over the George Washington Bridge, and up on the hill was Palisades Park. They even had a song by Freddie Boom Boom Cannon. I'm dating myself. And now you have apartment buildings up there. And many times, the reality of real estate, and I served in my capacity with a company that had real estate holdings. The issue in real estate is what is the highest and best use of a piece of land? Meaning, what's the way to get the most amount of profit out of the land? I don't think anybody can deny that it would be more profitable to the developer to build high-rise condos on this site, a marina, and an upscale housing area. No one's proposed that. I'm not saying they have. But that would be the highest and best use of real estate. But it would be the wrong public use of this space. This space has been dedicated for public access and public enjoyment. To that extent, the county has a direct role in the management of this facility. Allie?
I think it's exciting what you're showing is coming to the park this year, but I do have to say that I think everyone's main concern is safety. So waiting till Thursday, 2 days before the park's supposed to open, to show everyone how safe it is, can we just address? Are we working?
Well, Allie, I'll address it in very general terms. This park is safe, has been safe, and will be safe. What you'll see on Thursday is part of our natural process to be ready for the opening day of the park. When you see a report that's dated over a year old, you did not see the response to that report, did you? So that clearly was an effort to try to gin up the issue and make something that was a problem that was addressed a current problem. And I might add, the reports that you saw were done during the period of time when the park was closed, when we did not have our normal procedures in place. People were not using the park at that point in time and therefore not interacting with the food services. So what you see on Thursday is not a delay. It's the natural time frame that you want to look at the park before the park opens. And to the extent that somebody externally creates an agenda item, I don't accept that that's the most important agenda item. I view that as a manufactured issue. It's manufactured for a private purpose. You'll have a chance to see just before the park opens just how safe and secure we are. And we'll make sure that you see it. You'll have your cameras running. We're not going to edit anything. This has been a transparent administration, as I think you all know. We have done as much in the open as is humanly possible. We went to the Board of Legislators last week in an open public session to have a discussion about it. And on Thursday, what you'll see is what the park looks like just before it opens. It's not open today. It's not open on Thursday. But you're seeing it just before showtime. And I think when you see it, then you can make an editorial judgment on yourself as to whether the article that got placed in the New York Post was an accurate article or something that was put in with some other ulterior motive in mind. Other questions? Yes, Ty.
What's your metric for success this year? Is it attendance? Is it
Well, I'd say there's a couple of metrics to look at. The first one is a rise in attendance. 450,000, I believe, is the number we're working with off of last year. We want to make sure we have a hard number, and so I'm going to ask the departments to go back and get a verifiable number that will be the baseline of last year. I'm also going to ask them to put some weather statistics together to go with that to show how many of the expected peak days of attendance, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, we were impacted by weather. So you have not only the metric of total attendance, but the metric of weather, because we are a weather-sensitive facility. And if we do, in fact, get bad weather on specific days, it will affect attendance in a way that can't be recouped on the days when the weather is good. So we'll have those. We certainly intend to exceed it. If I said we intend to exceed it by 10%, by 20%, it would be a number I'd pull out of thin air. As we go through the year, we intend to add additional marketing actions and activities, different things that we don't have on the books yet to bring people in on different days. And if we're seeing success in the early things we do, then we're going to amplify it. But I will tell you this, in the school of practicality, if there's a promotion that we're doing it isn't working, we're going to stop doing it. And then we'll redirect and we'll try to find something that works better so that as we're at the front end of the year, we're not just locked into a plan, but that plan is flexible to go forward. I think we haven't talked about this in detail, but I think before the end of the year, we're going to try to determine how we could construct a couple of focus groups. Because in my personal marketing experience, we had surveys, and we also had focus groups. We got people around the table to talk about what their experiences are and determine what they highlight as being positives or negatives so that we can adjust and adapt to that as we go along. But I think all of what I'm describing, Ty, is a flexible level of marketing that we've not seen here at least in a decade. I don't know, longer, it's hard for me to judge. And I'm not really looking backwards negatively except to defend where we are today. And that what we're trying to do today is an effort to run this park properly during this year. And we'll find out soon enough who's going to be running the park in 2020. But for right now, it's our duty and obligation to run it in 2019. We have capital project money that's been targeted to do projects. Some of those projects are underway. More of them will follow, and you will see what progress there is to be made. And then you can, as you're doing now, ask whatever questions as we go step by step through the year. Other questions? Yes, Allie. Yep.
Any
Sorry.
reason why the park wouldn't open on Saturday, or we're expected?
As far as I can tell, we're opening on Saturday. If anybody's got a weather report of a monsoon or if we can predict an earthquake in advance, yeah, then we would postpone it. But no, we plan to open it on Saturday. And I think that's consistent with our thought that some of these objections that were raised were over a year old. You know, it's like me being proud of how much I weighed a year ago. I'm not proud what I weigh today. So, but if I showed you a picture of me a year ago, which you would remember, you'd say, "Gee, George, that really doesn't reflect, where you are today." And so that picture of a year ago doesn't reflect where we are today. If there are no other questions, yes, there is a question, Mark.
Can you tell us about plans for new rides?
Right now, we're in the process of preparing to have a new ride on board. There are some structural questions that have to be addressed about how it's going to be placed physically in the park. We hope to overcome whatever those concerns are. Obviously, out of safety, we're not going to open the ride or announce the ride until we're sure that we've got all those things done. And I don't reference a single ride as, oh, this is the greatest, we're going to change it. This is really a statement of commitment going forward. We know we need more than one or two rides in the park that would be new and exciting. Truthfully, at age 65, what's exciting to the person who comes in the park at 21 and what a 65-year-old man is going to get on are kind of two different things. But if as soon as we know that we've passed the basic tests, we'll certainly make the announcement about what we're planning. And that could be as recently as the next couple of weeks as we plan. If there is something coming in, we're kind of targeting July 4th as a target date, assuming that structurally all things fall into place. But the only reason why I'm not more specific about it is I want to make sure we've got it right before we tell you about it. And we're trying very hard not to overpromise things, say something, and then have to step back and then say, oh yeah, no, we got it wrong.
And what about I know we heard that phrase, the horses will ride again. How are they coming along?
You mean the carousel? The construction, we're not expected to open the carousel this year, is that correct?
Next season.
Who wants to address that more specifically? Who knows more about it? Okay.
I think, as everybody knows, we were successful in getting the $400,000 grant from State Department of Parks through the Regional Economic Development Council. The horses are cleaned and rehabbed, and we are finishing up the procurement, the bid documents to have the work done on the structural facility that will most likely begin in the fall. So that's we're very optimistic about that.
Any other questions? By all means, if you'd like to interview any of the individuals here, to talk to them one-on-one, feel free. If you'd like to get any external visuals that help you for your B-roll, feel free and do that. Catherine will inform you as quickly as we can the time for Thursday. We intend to be back wherever we intend to queue up. You're welcome to come back with cameras rolling. We have no restrictions. We're going to try to show you the relevant portions of the back of the house to address safety issues and health issues, hopefully satisfactory for all concerned. With that, thank you for coming down to Playland, and we'll see you Thursday, and then hopefully we'll see you back here for other reasons.